let's say 3 to 4, 6 weeks as we're preparing for PvP. I don't know when it's going to come out, but hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully October, maybe November. I'm not sure, but it's going to be coming out soon, and we can already see that things are heating up. So it's getting very, very exciting. How's it going today, man?
Good. Busy. Apparently, to some people, this is going to play. Yeah, apparently to some people, I don't do anything. So in their mind, a very relaxed day. In reality, it's been pretty nonstop. So no, excited. There's so much to talk about, man. Like I was talking to some guys in Illuvium Voice just a couple minutes ago. Dude, the amount of stuff that's been happening on socials and things like that, if people can't feel that something is cooking up, I don't know what to say. Like things are cooking. I'm very, very excited. This is gonna be there's so much to talk about. But yeah, we'll get into it.
Are we gonna get PvP next week, TSG?
Ask Eshad, what's this guy's name? L Pucketh. Everyone in chat, everyone that does see this, go and ping L Pucketh in Discord. He seems to know everything, so he might be able to tell you guys what the that release date is.
Maybe he knows. All right, so we
probably has a better idea than I do, based on his assessment.
The first thing is I want to have a look at these frames around the different ranked things. And I think the team's been mentioning in public that there will be some sort of ranked stuff in the PvP beta, or at least you will be able to get your elo up and stuff. I don't know if these borders are going to be in there, but we can see the borders that Grant has been working on from the latest Illuvium showcase. If you haven't seen it yet, right after you finish this, go watch it if you have some time. But they're showing off the frames again, and in this particular case, we've got, I think, Diamond, Platinum, Hollow, Dark Hollow. So I personally like Hollow better than Dark Hollow, but I think they both look really cool. So I'm very excited to see these the Dark Hollow around my border pretty much permanently.
Yeah, I mean I tested out something today with my deck. I made some slight adjustments. I haven't made a deck in a long time. I've been using the same thing for this whole time, so I made some slight adjustments. And it's way, way better. So I'm excited. Like I'm really, really excited to, if I have time to actually go in and try hard. I think someone else was asking me, am I going to try hard in this? I wish I could, man. I wish I could. I'll try as much as I can, but I'm excited for the competitive battles. They're going to be fun. Like again, everyone's had it internally. We're having these battles and no one believes us, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. We'll see. I might be mad snarky this episode, but it just might be what it is.
I'm excited for things like tournaments. Like not only are they going to be a lot of fun to stream, but even on Twitter and stuff, it's just an exciting thing to engage with. I think a good example is when we had that big Twitter poll competition that I can't remember his name organized, and at the end you had Cross the Ages and Illuvium fighting off against each other and stuff. That sort of stuff is the sort of thing I'm hoping we're going to see with just lots of creators, lots of guilds, lots of everyone. I'm excited for the cross-collaborative tournament. So, something like an X-Borg tournament is going to be fun. We have lots of people playing in an X-Borg tournament. But something like a guild tournament where X-Borg is fighting off against Wildfire and so on. Maybe you have 3 people on each side and all that sort of stuff. Those sorts of events across a few weeks or months, it's going to be really fun. They're going to be awesome spectacles. And that's what I'm really excited for with PvP is those sorts of events to start to happen.
Yeah, even like a 16 person bracket, even something like that where it's 2 guilds facing off. If each guild has even eight people to compete and represent in, but yeah, something like that could be something like really, really sick. Double elimination, like there's so many formats that we can do, right? So I'm really excited. And again, we see so much shit talking and so much bravado in chat. Now you can actually put your money where your mouth is, and that's what I'm excited for. It's like, all right, cool. Like, if you're really about it, we're about to see. And if you're not, dude, you're gonna get called out mad. Like, if you're still talking big and you lose it, you're gonna get called out mad. So I'm a massive, massive fan of results. So now that we're actually able to do this, man, like I said, things are cooking. Things are cooking, and things are, it's gonna be fun. I'm just so happy, man.
All right, so we've got so many leagues. We're gonna have to pump through it a little bit faster now. But it's been good talking about all that. But yes, Grant, I think just Grant was working on this at the time. But Grant did a pre-stream of the Private Beta 3 menu redesign. Grant and Dimitri. So I guess they were both probably working on it. What the hell? Oh.
Sorry, I
So,
might be going on and off. My bad.
so Grant was doing some stream here. I don't know if this is playing. Basically, he was making up like the menu screen for Illuvium PvP. It's looking really great. He did some more on the showcase. So if you haven't checked out this live stream, you might enjoy it. I don't think he's probably talking in it too much. It's probably mostly just music and stuff. But if you're into this sort of stuff and this art dev work, then this is definitely the stream for you.
Yeah, this is sick, and I love it when Grant streams in Discord as well, man. It's cool because he asks our opinion, like he asks the community. We can understand his thought process. I think he might work a little bit slower when he's talking to us because obviously he's not hyper focused on it. But I mean, it's cool to see, man. It's cool to see because like a lot of the stuff that they think of, and we kind of know this doing videos. I mean, you do videos more than I do, definitely now. But again, that knowledge still stays with you, right? So when we look at thumbnails, when we look at videos, we're looking at specific things. When developers are doing their thing, they're looking at specific things. We see Grant and Dimitri stream and talk about this stuff. You can see the stuff that they're thinking about, the stuff that they're kind of focused on, and it's just stuff that most people would overlook. And it's just fascinating to hear their insight and how they actually do it. I don't know. I'm super nerdy on those things, and I absolutely love that stuff.
Yeah, I love hearing them talk about these things, and I've never really delved into like texturing on this sort of stuff before because you've got to build like full artistic texture maps, which is something I don't really work with when I do my CAD because it's very much like customized materials and metallic and all that sort of stuff. It's very different, so I really love learning this sort of stuff. All right,
absolutely.
So the next one is kind of what this turned out as. We saw from Dr. Spoon posted it. I think he took a screenshot from the stream. I couldn't find that exact frame.
Yeah.
But basically took a screenshot of Grant working on it, and you can see that the login screen is right there. So this is actually in Figma. I recognize the UI. So he's dropped the image. Someone's dropped the image into Figma and found the 1920 1080, which is kind of what the login screen might look like. So I think that's a great framing for it.
I mean, this is not going to be confirmed. Obviously, we all know this already. Like they're adding the Doka, they're changing story arcs. Like there are going to be changes, but yes, that it gives you an idea of what to expect.
They won't change story arcs. They could never.
They will.
Okay.
They will.
So.
Yo, by the way, look how many tabs there are, man. That's how much stuff we have to talk about.
Yeah, I forgot you could see all that. All right, so the next one we've got is a UI mock-up with the T-pose characters, which is from back there. I'll show you in a sec.
Yeah.
But you can see the battle board right here from Sanctum Mesa. I think the lighting, color, the art, it looks really, really cool. Again, I've said it a billion times and I'll say it again, but it's going to feel a lot different from survival mode, which is very important. And I'm very excited to be playing the game outside because the lighting and stuff is just so different, you know?
Yeah. And I think Grant might have mentioned, I don't know if I'm making this one up. I'm pretty sure I heard this correct. But we might have like a day-night thing, like a nighttime board, a daytime board. So it's going to look different, right? Even though it's the same thing, it gives it that variance, which I think is really, really sick. And also, I don't know if people actually realize or notice this, but based on the leaks that we got maybe last week or even a couple of weeks ago, this board is pretty much completely revamped. Like it's much cleaner, much better to look at. I personally tested out the new build today. They've made some changes again, and just the way that it's working out and what we're building to right now is insane. So very, very happy with the direction, and I much prefer this board to the previous one, and I think everyone's gonna feel the same 100%.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it looks good. What can I say? I like the idea of a day-night cycle as well. I'm kind of tossing up this weird idea.
I'm not saying it might be a day-night cycle. I'm just saying there might be a day or night board.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A day-night cycle would actually be pretty cool. Like if you had like every round it had a certain time frame. So if you went for like a 24-hour day-night cycle, right? Oh my God, it zoomed in. If you had like a 24-hour day-night cycle and then like every round was like 1 hour and it would go across that day-night cycle or something, that'd be kind of wild and just way too much and doesn't really have an effect on the game, but it'd be kind of interesting. Maybe you could pay for that NFT.
Or it could just be, and this is just me speculating and just having fun, right? I'm just throwing ideas out. But the same way that Animal Crossing calculates your time. So if you're in the daytime of your actual region, it's daytime on the board. If you're playing at night, it becomes nighttime. I think even something like that might be cool. But I'm just throwing that out there. That's not confirmed or anything or even being discussed. I'm just throwing that out there.
That'd be wild. All right, so the next one we've got here is I have no idea.
What is this?
Custom matchmaking.
Oh, custom matchmaking. That's it.
Talk to us about this, TSG. Talk to us.
Yeah, so it's essentially been give me one sec. Yeah, it's essentially being confirmed with I think Ben's mentioned it now. Grant somewhat mentioned it. I mean,
brought it up.
Grant says it maybe can be done. I think Ben somewhere else says that it's pretty much confirmed. Custom matchmaking will be in PV3. So being able to actually link up, that opens up the possibilities for so much influencer battles, CEO battles. There's just so much. If we're linking up with current streamers and things, and they want to collaborate with each other, they can actually do that. It's not just even me and you or anyone, right? Like just doing that. It doesn't mean that we're just going to kind of say, oh, let's press the button and hope we link up together. That's not what it is. You're actually being able to link up with people. Again, this opens up the possibility for tournaments, like you say. It can be round robin. It can be the standard bracket, single elimination, double elimination, all of that. Just having this one feature opens up so many possibilities, and I'm so excited. We've tested this out, and it's 5 seconds. Like once you put it, it's like you link up in 5 seconds. Which, I mean, damn, I don't mind. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, and I mean, no one needed this solution to be super pretty, right? Like, obviously, ultimately, it'll probably look like something like sending challenge requests to people on a friends list and stuff like that. I honestly have no idea if the friends list is making it into PvP and PV3 in general. But I know that they're getting this in there because it's going to make an impact on the testing. It's going to make an impact on the overall experience. And I'm just glad it's there, whatever form it might look like. It might be a little bit rough and dirty, but as long as it works, that's all that matters. And I'm very, very excited. It's one of my favorite bits of news I've seen from Illuvium in like the past, month and a half at least. Like this is a pretty big deal.
It's huge.
Obviously,
it's huge.
Myself, SJart, and Jim Barino did a lot of work on a tournament proposal, and this helps validate that, thankfully.
Yeah.
It makes all the more worth it. Yeah.
100%. And even what SJart is saying, I'll address that about, let me bring this up. About you being in Australia. Dude, that doesn't matter. Like I've linked up with Kieran, I've linked up with Grant. It's 5 seconds. I'm in China where the internet is tough. It doesn't matter. I played with Zazu, people in Europe. It's sick. So yeah, it's really, really sick. I'm very, very happy with it. Can it be better? Of course. Will it suffice for the first iteration of PV3? Absolutely. Hey,
it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Welcome to the stream, Rich. Okay, the next one. This one is huge. This is what the title is all about. Grant's gut tells him that regardless of its weaknesses, the community is going to love playing PvP after all this time, and Overworld has major overhauls. The understanding for the community up to this point was that the Overworld was going to be pretty much the same, or at least there hasn't been much discussion around the Overworld in general. So Grant saying that the Overworld has massive overhauls, and Kieran's tweet, which we'll get to later, is very, very interesting. And I'm excited to see what they're doing with the Overworld. Maybe I'll be super excited for it again. It's hard to get into it without being able to keep your stuff. And even lately, a bunch of other Web3 games have been going to like pre-seasons, open betas and things. And I didn't realize how much of an impact no future resets actually has on the way I play a game and me wanting to play that game when I get home from work. So I can't wait for that to happen with Illuvium. Yeah. I'm confident it's going to happen now, even though I thought maybe it wouldn't because the Overworld feels a little bit weird at the moment. But I think it's going to work great.
Yeah, absolutely. And dude, I wish I could share what what some of the Overworld stuff is, and it's nuts. It's nuts. I'll preface this. So the Overworld team, I think Nick has kind of said this with his tweet. I don't know if you want to bring that up as well now. You can bring up the Nick tweet where he kind of talks about this. But so we had a meeting with the Overworld developers, and the way they presented it was, "Yo, guys, it's PB3. We don't want to."
This
No, it's not that one. It should be Nick loses his mind is what it's called. Yeah, so we'll bring that up. So yeah, so it looks So essentially, what the team said, the Overworld team said, was, guys, look, we're not trying to take attention away from PvP. That's the main showing of PV3. So we're just doing a couple of upgrades here and there and updates. Nothing sexy was how they presented it. I'm not going to say any more than that. All I'm going to say is look at Nick's tweet, look at Kieran's tweet, look at my tweet, and you guys figure out if what they did is a small update or a big update. We're going to find out very, very soon. Things might get leaked very, very soon. It's not going to come from me today, but things are going to come out. And I think when people realize what is going on with Overworld, speculate as well. Tell us both, what do you think is coming? But it's definitely a lot sexier than what the developers said they had in store. So yes, very, very excited for what's happening in Overworld. But yes,
do we have any Illuvium team members we can actually trust? They're all just hype men at this point, and we just never know. We never know what's up. It's ridiculous.
I mean, we pretty much don't. We pretty much don't do anything. So we're all just sitting around.
Yeah.
We're just hyping shit up for the sake of hyping it up.
Oh,
dude, I could probably hype this up if I was told to, right? That's my job, just to hype up a piece of tissue paper. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
All right, so this next one's actually really interesting, and I'm glad someone asked this question, and I'm even more glad Ben answered it. So, firstly, Taran doesn't usually make it past round 4.
That's a lie. I usually win most of my matches. There are a couple of people
I'll believe it when I see it. So that would be around 6 minutes. We're aiming for around 10 minutes on average. TSG doesn't last longer than 6 minutes. We're aiming for around 10 minutes on average, with long games going out to 15 minutes. I honestly, I have no opinion on this until I play the game myself, to be honest. I think 10 minutes sounds cool.
Yeah.
I feel like League of Legends was the game I played the longest when it came to multiplayer and ranked and stuff. League got really weird with 60-minute matches. Now, when your game took about half an hour, it actually felt pretty sweet. I don't necessarily want this to take half an hour. League's a lot more detailed in the way the match is structured. But when it got to like that 60-minute mark, it just felt kind of crap and drained you a bit. So as long as they're not like extending it past where it needs to make sense, I think that's the most important thing here.
Yeah. I don't know if League has a turbo mode. I know Dota implemented a turbo mode for that exact reason. Like games usually last 60 minutes. Turbo mode usually lasts about.
League had some events come around. I can't remember what it's called, rapid fire games or something. I can't remember. They had events come around where everything would be boosted and it would take like 5-10 minutes.
So that's the same thing. Yeah, Dota 2 has that turbo mode where it's just 2x the everything. But yeah, so they asked us all for feedback. They asked internally the team for feedback that have been playing. How do we think that how long are they lasting? Should they be faster? Should they be slower? What do we think? I personally put my feedback, and I can speak on only my opinion, was that it's around. I would like to see it around that 10-minute mark. I said at least 7 minutes. 7 to 12 was the number that I gave. I think we're pretty much there. Oh, yeah, I think we're pretty much there. I'm happy with the current way that it's playing out. Again, I played a couple of games. I played 2 games today. Very, very happy with how it's looking now in terms of time frame. They were pretty close matches. I think we got to like round 7, like 6 or 7, like really towards the end. No, it was really crazy. Me and Zazu, we had I won round 1, he won round 2. I won round 3, he won round 4. I won round 5, he won round 6, and I think cleaned it up. So it was interesting. It went back and forth. Like it was super tight. But yeah, very, very happy with the way it is. But I think that 10-minute mark makes a lot of sense. If you have a break at work, especially if it's on mobile, like once it gets to that stage, that 10-minute mark, I think from a consumer point of view is a very palatable one.
That's the point I actually wanted to bring up. Is SJ mentioned that TFT is 30-ish minutes, and this isn't data driven. This is more personal opinion and stuff. So take it with a grain of salt. But I feel like TFT had a really interesting positioning in the market where it was a mobile game that was first developed as a PC game. So, it's like an actual decent mobile game, unlike 99% of them out there. But I always had trouble with the 30 minutes. Like when I was younger and then going to uni and on the bus half the time and stuff, even a TFT game, I'd be like, okay, I've got to get off the bus in 20 minutes. I don't have the time to play TFT on my phone, which sucked because it's the only mobile game worth playing at the time. I mean, Hearthstone's the other one, and it also takes about half an hour. So the mobile games that are taking 10 minutes or so are really effective. That doesn't mean that Illuvium needs to take 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes. But I agree that when it comes to mobile and Illuvium eventually getting ported there, if that's an important part of Illuvium's strategy, keeping it shorter is going to be better. But definitely not too short. We definitely don't want that. But there's a really fine balance that needs to be hit.
It's a strategy game. So if it's too rushed, you don't feel like you're actually thinking. It just feels like you're just trying to put shit out there. So where it is now, when I'm looking at the game, again, like I can speak on it today specifically. When I was playing with Zazu, that really close match that we had, it felt like a real thinking game. It felt like, damn, all right, again, I won that first one. Then I lost the second. All right, how am I going to come back on the third? I can't just put shit out there. I need to think. Like, I have a couple of options. What am I going to do? How am I going to counter him? What is he going to do? I think that the timing that we have now is pretty solid. Is it perfect? Probably not. But I think we're getting much closer to where we want it to be. So very happy with that.
1 second.
No stress.
Yeah. I think I'm looking forward to it, but maybe 15 minutes would be the sweet spot, to be honest, if I'm trying to think about it, but we'll see.
From playing now, I think 15 might be a bit too long, but that's just from my experience now.
Yeah, all right, we'll have to see. Okay, so the next thing is whatever this is. Okay, the 3 Qs. So Ben has stated here in public channels and leaks discussion, a lot of great discussion happens in leaks discussion. That's where the party's at right now. But basically, Ben says you'll be able to play in the casual queue, ranked queue, and to directly play against another player by inviting them. As we were talking about before, custom matchmaking is confirmed. But more importantly, there's actually 2 queues, which I did not expect. I thought it was just going to be a ranked queue because I hadn't built out the entire systems or whatever it might be. But it's kind of exciting that we'll get to play in a casual queue as well. I mean, I could see myself practicing a deck before I'm ready to take it to ranked. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the purpose, right? You're going to use the casual to test out your deck, fine tune the deck, and once you think you're ready to use that and go up in rank, you start testing it out with the rank play. So yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people are going to use custom. I think for content creators and stuff like that, people that are really trying to grind it out are probably going to use custom, especially guilds and things like that. But I mean, you can test it out you're not getting perfect data 100%, but you can still gather data and kind of just see what can work, how you can play things, the sequence in which that you play things. But yeah, again, the best way to practice 100% is to play with friends. It's like if I was playing Smash, I would not be practicing online. I would be practicing with someone who's at my level or better than my level next to me. So no, SJ is 100% right. You'd be using. That's why I think custom matches are going to be a very popular mode for like the tryhards.
But I know there's a lot of people in the community that are rather going to the casual mode and stuff like that and just enjoy playing that. So I'm definitely glad it's there. All right,
100%.
So the next one we've got here is really interesting. Is a leak Kieran posted. Basically, he said the overall team want to avoid taking arena team's glory. Again, coming back to that same thing we're talking about. But wait until you see what they've been cooking up in the lab. Even Kieran's hyping up Overworld. Like, do we even care about PvP at this point? You know what I mean? I really like the way they look on the left there and everything as well, with the tier and names and whatever. But on the right here, we're seeing that there is some sort of stat distribution. Now, I don't know if this is going to be in PB3. He's kind of inferring it is. I don't know. Or if that is the stat distribution, that might just be Axon's general stats or something like that. We don't know for sure. You got stats, maximum health 2331, which definitely seems like a random number of some kind. Normally, it'd be a round number if it was it's non-random stat or whatever, right? And then you've got all these other stats and things down here, and it's a mega, of course. But either way, the UI looks great. Everything looks sick. Very excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I got rid of the wrong thing. My bad. Yeah, I mean, look, I won't say too much. I will say that I think a couple of people. I'll bring it back up. A couple of people brought up on Twitter that bringing up the thing about the stats on the side, like unique stats. Kieran reacted to Oscar Matt's tweet, I think, with like a thinking face. So look, nothing's been said publicly just yet, but do with that information what you will. Yeah, look, nothing's been confirmed, nothing's been denied. But if we're all very, very excited about Overworld, again, speculate. Let us know what you guys think is coming. Tweet at us. Tweet at Kieran. Ping him. I don't care.
All the speculation.
Let us know what you guys think is happening.
Lock or isolate our best alluvials. So I'm just looking at this comment here. With stats, I really hope there's a way to lock or isolate our best alluvials that we don't want to fuse. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be like a favorite button or something. That's pretty standard in games nowadays. But if there isn't, then we'll do a game improvement proposal or something. I don't even know if that's a good use for it, the game improvement proposal thing, but we will.
You'd also want to fuse your best stats because it give your new alluvial better stats. Hypothetically, I'm not saying this is confirmed or not. I'm saying hypothetically, if you did have good stats and you wanted to fuse it up, you should fuse it because it should increase the chances of better stats in
but like if you had a Leviathan deck and it had an Atlas in it, you would still want to keep the Atlas.
Yes. Of course.
Because you don't necessarily want to use Axodon on every deck, right? You might want to use Atlas sometimes. So you'll keep one of everything with good stats, and then whenever you get one with better stats, the kind of worse one is the one you'll fuse, and you keep going down like that. Unless there's an alluvial you really think you're never going to use. Can't think of an example I can think of a use for most alluvials.
I don't think I'd ever use Scariox.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. I'm trying to think of like a stage one. Like even Archie is pretty solid.
Archie's sick.
I can't think of one. All right. So we've got this next leak from Florian, who is, I want to say UI designer of Illuvium.
Say that again. What's his name?
Florian.
No, man. Florian. Florian.
All right. And he's done the UI framework, I believe. Yeah, fresh from Figma. He says it right here. Of how the new setup is going to look for PvP. The biggest thing you notice, obviously, is the big health bars at the top. Affinity class all looks pretty standard, like from survival. The UI at the top is brand new, obviously. You can see that the augment rounds, the legendary augment rounds, are on the fourth one and the very first round as well. The health and everything, very, very exciting. I don't see Mozart in this pick, which is kind of weird because I'm sure Mozart's supposed to be in here.
It's probably around. But also cool. look at the bottom. The bottom UI is actually different as well. It doesn't have the affinities like it used to. So it's going by, I didn't notice that. Yeah, it's going by stations here. Because I mean, if you're building a deck, you're not going to need to filter by affinities. You should already kind of have an idea with that. So we want to try and move away from that. And you can see there, it's got the alluvials, augments, weapons, and armaments as filters as well. And on the very left side, you've got an undo button. So let's say you move a character, you can click undo before the round starts to move it back to where it was. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I absolutely love this UI. Even the angle of the camera and everything has been changed slightly from what we're using currently. Very excited for full implementation of this new UI.
I just noticed that Axodon is 100 mastery points. I'm sure that's not right.
That's probably just thrown in there.
That's crazy. How's it going, Stephen Coyote, or Pullman Printing, as is better known?
Oh, PMP.
All right, the next one we are on is... All right, look, I'm going to level with you guys. People have been really loving this leak in particular. And
you don't care?
I like it, but I don't care that much, to be honest. Plus, I don't think there's a Scoriox, so maybe that's why. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, they posted some Ranger and Mozart skin leaks. I think they look good, though. I'm not going to lie to you. but I care about other things. I don't know.
Yeah. Yo, what's that drone though, man? I mean, we've seen Mozart before, but what's the other one?
It's the macaroon Mozart. Oh no, wait, that's the macaroon.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the. It reminds me of like a Star Wars droid almost. We're kind of going to
reminds me of
Star
like
Wars.
reminds me of like a samurai, like
Mm.
with the hat. But yeah, I mean, what is that? I mean, do we know what that is yet? Does the public know what that is? I mean, I do.
If they do, I don't. I haven't seen it.
I do. But again, speculate, guys. Speculate. Things are coming. Things are cooking. They're cooking. Gordon Ramsay up in this. They're
All right.
absolutely cooking.
The next one here, we've got what one must
Links.
assume.
Come
Oh,
on, man.
links. I was
Jesus
never going to get
Christ.
that. Jesus. I do
I mean,
like the color
yeah.
change on the helmet because the links have two different color eyes. I think that's a nice
Yeah.
touch.
Yeah. I mean, we can go through these pretty quick. We don't need to go super hard on this.
All right. This one is.
Probably one of the TNT ones.
No,
one
I
of
don't
the
believe that for a
snails.
second. It's not purple. This one is. This one looks familiar. Is it? No, I don't know.
Golion?
What?
I don't know.
They
No,
probably,
probably wouldn't be.
They probably had names to the files. Nope, they don't. They're
No, it
called
doesn't.
screenshot. Right. That one there is one of the red Lynxes.
Yeah, probably.
This one is another Lynx archetype. Maybe it's just there's a stage 2 Lynx skin or something because there's a few stages in the Illuvium Zero.
Yeah.
This one was stage 2.
We don't need to go through all of them. That's fine.
We are going through all of them. And this one is, I have no idea. Sloth maybe.
This is the bed, right? Fern.
Oh yeah, probably.
Feathers on it.
Probably. And
this
this
is
one,
the toucan. The dodo. The dodo. Sorry.
Oh, Cooker.
No, the dodo. The foe. Is that what it's called? The little fighter bed.
Oh, faux forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. All right, we went through this Nick. Oh no, we didn't go through this Nick one yet.
We didn't.
Nick,
Yeah, I didn't realize that he leaked this.
Nick leaked the team builder, but everyone's been leaking the team builder, so he's not the first one. Rich has been leaking it. I don't know if you've leaked one yet.
I absolutely have not. Again, I don't do anything, man. You should know.
And Kieran and now Nick, I think, has leaked it. This one's pretty cool. It's like a full nature deck. There's a lot of wildfire in here, and the Arcalion for support. And the Riptorus is a really nice touch. I think that's a good addition here. And the Caradulox, which I'm seeing in a lot of decks, it must be pretty good.
It's sick. It's so stupid.
But he only has 8 augments, which I think is a little low. I'd be putting like half the deck as augments.
Interesting.
And 2 weapons and 2 armors. Very, very cool. But this is a very alluvial heavy deck, if you ask me. He's got all 3 from the Heady line, which I think is pretty interesting. I've tried using Heady before. I don't think it does anything, to be honest.
Heady, Blotto's sick, man.
No,
like,
Blotto's great. I'm talking about Heady
Yeah.
specifically.
I mean, they're all not bad. And actually, speaking of the deck composite, so you can see how many does he have? He's got how many alluvials?
He has 18.
18. All right, yeah. So I've got in my deck that I use, I have 13 alluvials. You said he has 8 augments. I have 10. Yep. I have 5 weapons and 2 suits. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Once we start seeing people share some of their stuff, it's going to be really, really sick to see what decks they have, what kind of ways they organize their decks in terms of alluvials to augments, the ratios, things like that. It's going to be very, very interesting.
The other thing I wanted to point out was this here. The Nature Round 3, it was a weird name, but the Nature Shield here is actually a T0 shield. So I'm actually really excited to see how much use T0s are going to get. Generally speaking, obviously the T0 alluvials can do quite a bit, but the T0 armor and weapons and things and how useful they are, and the T0 augments, because remember, everything that's T0 will be free to get in the game one way or another. And so making sure that they're a part of the game and they don't feel super basic or left out, I think is going to be a good thing in the future. So I'm looking forward to that.
T0 augments are going to be super impactful. Like, I actually went through them today. Someone, I was doing some looking into something, and T0 augments are going to be very, very impactful. So yeah, going to be cool to see.
All right, the next one we've got here is Kieran posting a tweet where he destroyed someone called, that's my bad, someone called Dungeon Lord, and he had a
Take a
flawless
guess.
victory. As you can
Take
see,
a
his health
guess.
is on 1,000.
Who
I
is
have to
Dungeon
get
Lord?
rich.
No, man. That's Redacted Kings. No, Dungeon Lord is Nicholas. Nick.
Oh, is it really?
I
I have to ask him the meaning behind that name because I don't. Do I want to know?
I have no idea what the meaning is. I just know that it is him.
The other thing to notice here is that Pork Lamb's score went up by 16 and Dungeon Lord dropped 24. You can infer that the starting was 9 against 40. So Dungeon Lord dropping a ton by losing to someone ranked 9 makes a ton of sense. So it looks like they've got some sort of elo things in there and it's not just a flat rate against both. So I think that's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Who do you want to play? Okay, let me ask you. Let me get rid of this. Who do you want to play against the most, or who are like the top 3 people that you want to play against, and who are 3 people that you want to see play against each other? And let us know in chat as well. Like, you guys can get involved.
Well, Eschard talks a lot of crap, so I definitely want to play against him.
Fair.
I don't know if I'm going to win or not, but I still want to play against him. And that's kind of been his plan all along, maybe. It's just making sure everyone wants to play against him. I don't know. Second person, definitely want to play against you. I think we could have a lot of really fun grudge matches.
Yeah.
And the third, I'm really not sure. Maybe Viper. I think that would be an interesting match. Viper's very calculating. I love to see how he plays, even if I have to learn from it. I think he's going to be one of the top players for sure. Yeah. Anyone else, I'm not sure. I mean, S-Judd maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. He can say what he wants until I see him play. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
3 people I want to see play against each other. I want to see Aaron play against people. So Aaron and Kieran for sure.
Kieran's trash, by the way. I'll say that now. Kieran's trash.
I'd love to see S-Judd and whoever his enemy number 1 is, whoever that might be, on any given week.
Viper,
I'd love to see them play together. Maybe Viper. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably Viper.
And then the other one is probably, I think Jimborino and like Artemis or something could be a fun match.
Bro, what do you mean?
Or Jimborino and just anyone in general, obviously, would be fun.
I think, so for me, definitely playing against you will be a fun one. I think we're just gonna have a lot of fun. Like, we'll try out some shit. I think that'll be cool. Rory says about the Warwick Bro battle. I mean, that's almost guaranteed to happen. So yeah, not an issue. Look, I've played with both Grant and Kieran. That they're not very good. I haven't played with Aaron yet. So I'd like to play with you. Who else would I like to play with, man? I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It depends. Because the thing is, like, I was talking to Viper about, I don't know if I was talking to Viper or some shit, but I really, really want to get good at this game, but I just don't have the time to do it. And it pisses me off because I want to be competitive at it. I just don't have the time because I know what it takes to get into it. So I don't know who I'd want to play against. I'd play for content or for fun. Like, it's not, I think I'll be slightly better than the average player, but I don't think I'm going anywhere near that top tier. In terms of who I want to watch, definitely Viper and whoever. I think just watching him is going to be, because again, he doesn't play for fun. He plays to win. So I love that competitive spirit of, like, again, like, just being hyper analytical and just going for it. That's going to be sick. And then honestly, I'm very excited for Web 2 streamers, like, just in general, like TFT streamers and stuff that I'm not reaching out to because I don't do my job. But if they somehow magically decide to touch our game, that's going to be really fun to look at and see what they do there. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Well,
a lot of kick streams by the sounds of it. A lot of R-rated games who just people swearing at each other.
Oh, Kane will be no. Kane will, absolutely. Kane will practice. Do you understand how competitive that guy is? Yo, look, I'm not going to tell the story of this, but when our brothers talk about how competitive they are, right? Like, we hear that, but we never see it. Bro, we saw it firsthand at a wedding, competitions, left, right, center, going back and forth. Nuts. Absolutely insane. So
was Kane there? I never.
Yeah.
Part of me forgot Kane existed. Not gonna lie.
No, Kane's absolutely there. So once we get the game out and Kieran knows his brothers well, we can absolutely spin it in a way to make Kane feel like he can't lose. Be like, yo, we're gonna set you up against this person. You better not embarrass yourself. If we just say that, he's practicing 10,000%. He is practicing. So no, Kane's 100% going to be prepped. Is Viper possibly the best of the best? Hard to say. I don't think he plays survival as much anymore. Not that I'm aware of anyway, but I know that he's hyper competitive. So when it does switch on for him, it switches on for real. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't really take the leaderboard too seriously at the moment, to be
The leaderboard
fair.
now is stupid.
I've been in those little competitions, but everyone just goes the same build as each other, and it's
just stupid.
Well, that's
and
not really.
Like
I
I
can't
get
stand
it.
doing
Like,
that. I don't care how well I would do. I can't stand doing that. It's so boring.
It's just like, oh, cool, well done, like well played. And I get it. You're getting something. Well done. Like I can't get to wave 34 or whatever waves they get to. I get it. So you are technically better. Cool, no stress. But when you're actually playing PvP, it's a different game. It is a completely different game.
We just have to see how the landscape opens up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think once that happens, it's like your brain actually switches on. Of like, all right, how am I actually going to build my deck? How am I actually going to make this a well-rounded deck that is going to overcome most opponents, right? Like that's when it switches on. And again, that's why I see it when I play with the guys internally. There are a couple of good players internally, like they're not just messing about. So again, it's really sick to say. And again, I'll openly say I lose to Zazu quite a bit now. I lose to Zazu, but I lose to, I think, what's his name? Jesky is much better. But again, playing with him, it makes me level up. It makes me start to assess things. But again, I just wish I had more time to dive into it. But it is what it is. Excited to see how the community takes it, though. 6 months for PvP. Rory, go check out Twitter. Check out the activity, and you can gauge it. It's 6 months is a stretch. That is a long time. Definitely.
Could you imagine?
Fred, like, can you imagine?
The community wouldn't even be here anymore. The Discord would be shut down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And PvP, you're right. It has a pressure factor. It's the same when you're playing against someone. There's a difference. Like again, and you can get ragged on. Like if we're really as competitive as we say we are, people are going to be very mean to each other. So losing is not just losing a match; it's losing a lot more.
Like I said in the chat, I think the snowball effect is very different as well, where one minor mistake could give your opponent such a big advantage or such a big leg up on you that it's going to be a lot harder to come back. So it's going to be much more like minor mistakes are going to cause you the game rather than anything else, like we've seen in survival.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, PvP.
So I don't have the sound enabled for this, but do you want to talk us through this one?
Yeah. I mean, look, we don't need to have the sound, but essentially, Classy hit me up just a couple of days ago saying that he wanted to include us in one of his like top crypto games, and he put us as one of the highest. Super excited. Very spoke super highly of us. Again, just a quick shout out to Classy for covering us. And obviously we clipped it up and tweeted about it. But yeah, no, big shout out to Classy for that one.
Oh, so this is an Illuvium edit of Classy's video.
No. So this is his edit, and I just clipped it from start to finish. So this is exactly what he had in his video.
Yeah.
And just speaking very highly about us and why he's excited. So I just clipped that and did that.
I'll have to check this out later today for sure.
Yeah.
Good.
And I think
that's good.
Yeah, Stash did something as well about the token specifically, so we couldn't clip that and tweet that easily. But yeah, no, a lot of people are speaking very highly about us coming into this. I think they can kind of get the buzz. Something's happening as well. And Surfer Dude, yes, Viper did tweet that. He shared that tweet with me the moment he put that up because he kind of knew that, again, I play competitively. So we both kind of get it. It pisses me off that I can't do that again. He didn't even win all yet, but he also did earn a lot more money in tournaments than you did. So
we're not having this conversation. Yeah. Anyways, the Illuvium PvP tournament fund went live yesterday, and it already has 50 upvotes. Go team! But briefly put, basically the idea is that the DAO would allocate 100 ILV to. Not necessarily the marketing sub-council, but to this tournament fund that the marketing sub-council will vet applicants and things like that, and then pass over a proposal to the IMC who will vote yes or no. And basically what that'll mean is, say if someone like Xborg or Wildfire came and said, I want to host this tournament X, Y, and Z. I'm giving you a pitch deck. I want 10 ILV to add to my prize pool for the tournament. Illuvium will say, go through the vetting process and organize everything. and then ask the IMC. And if the IMC says yes, then we'll be able to give them that 10 ILV, and they can go and run their tournament on not necessarily on behalf of the DAO, but like we're kind of sponsoring them and giving them this grant so that we can start to build this grassroots foundation for the Illuvium competitive scene. The other part of this is that it's a big thing that's happening in Web3 in general. I know we talk a lot of shit about play to earn, but people need incentives to play in new games that they've never seen before and to get involved and to get interested. And this is one really great way to do that bolsters Illuvium and the community surrounding it and doesn't take up too much work on the team side either. So it's a win for everyone, helps foster that competitive scene and just get more players into the beta and playing the beta. Which is important for beta testing. And I think that's one of the biggest things for me at this point, to be honest, is just make sure we get the best beta testing we can so we get the best feedback we can. I think that's important.
Oh my God, I'm about to sneeze. Yeah, no, you're right. In terms of doing this, it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, I think Kieran told you that we were working on something internally as well about this. We were kind of aligned without even knowing it. So I actually don't agree with you where you say people need to be incentivized to play, but it's a nice thing to have, especially for tournaments. Like kind of putting that out there is just like a thing. I don't think it's a necessity, but definitely a nice thing to have.
It definitely makes it last a lot longer. For example, PvP is obviously going to be more popular than survival, but the player numbers might dwindle from, let's say, if 100 starting off, then it might dwindle to 50 after 4 weeks and then 30 after 4 more weeks. But with things like tournaments and other incentives and rewards and stuff, your 100 might stay closer to 50 or 60 for a much longer period of time. So I definitely think that's going to happen, but I agree that you don't have to do it to get players into the game.
Like there's benefits to it, right? Like that's a no-brainer. There's benefits to it. And you're right in saying that I'd much rather do this where we approve others to run these tournaments, maybe with some of our advice, but we don't have to get our hands dirty and get involved in it. We kind of just supply the prizes. So as long as it's done nicely, we get to kind of foster that competitive environment without actually requiring too much of our attention, which I think is going to be super important. Exactly. It helps people hosting the tournaments, like what Eshod is saying. Exactly. You're going to get casters in. People can start building that brand around that competitive scene. Like I know Vulcan is want to do casting. Jimbo wants to do some stuff there as well. So we'll see. Like everyone, it allows people to start having a bit of just to build up their roles in the community for sure. Stan said, what did Stan say? Will Illuvium embark in what? Embark in other categories, or is this the only game? Adventure, sports, that's all going to come much later. And by the way, we already have 3.5 games, with Overworld being the creature capturer game. Jesus, Arena, which is the order battler, Illuvium Zero, which is the city builder, and then the 0.5 game, which is what I say is the Illuvium Beyond, which is the collection card game where you're trying to collect and fill out the album. So we do many things already. But over time, it will expand. But right now, the priority is to make sure this launch, like our main trio of games, goes out nicely, perfect that, and then we start moving on. There's no rush. I
think Zayla's point is good. I don't think it's quite the exact same thing, but Dota 2 started off a new game and new genre with a huge prize pool. I'm pretty sure Dota 2 came out before League. And look at it now. So he's right. They injected a large sum of money and it got even more attention than it would have. And we'll probably have to do some sort of big tournament when the Overworld comes out to have the same effect, like open beta. But until then, this is going to be a great start.
Agreed.
All right. So I haven't quite seen this one properly yet, but you might have, TSG. Do you want to talk to us about this community workflow upgrade?
I'll be honest, I didn't look super deep into it, but it's just something about transparent board so that people actually know what's going on in terms of the steps. Look, I have no real opinion about this. I don't know if you do. It's just going from you can see like the step 1 to step 2. We don't have step 3. Step 4, we don't have step 5. Step 6, step 7. Like they're saying, can we have a board where we can see what step we're at? and how that's going, what the time frame is allowed, to, just things like that, so people can kind of see the process in a more transparent way. Look, I get it; it makes sense. I don't care too much about it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I get it that I'm speaking from a privileged point of view where I know most of the stuff internally already, so I don't really focus on this shit.
This is a tricky one. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't have any issues with something like this going ahead. But one of the big things is a lot of the discussions that take place in council are surrounding governance topics, which isn't the most entertaining or interesting topic that Illuvium has to offer. So I think you'll find that most people won't actually be interested in the sorts of stuff that's being discussed behind the scenes. And at the same time, half of the stuff is covered by NDA anyway. So it's a really tricky one to slot into that gap. Being able to talk to the community more frequently about the things that are happening internally would be really sweet. And maybe there's an answer in here somewhere. I'm not sure if a Jira board is that answer, but I think this is a good conversation to have. It's something we should continue for sure.
Yeah. Look, I have no strong opinions on this. If it happens, it happens. Cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think Estelle makes a good point that you can see how many people are interested by the way they vote on different things.
Yeah. That's why I say it's not like a big thing for me. I don't necessarily get the depth of the request.
All right, and the last one here is a special bonus one. What the hell does TSG even do? You know, like that's money spent. Isn't it better ways to allocate? No, I don't know why this guy's trolling in general. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, very weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
But like, what does TSG even do?
Dude, it's crazy that message came out like 2 minutes before we went live or some shit. But no, I mean, dude, I don't do anything. I legitimately just sit down and do nothing. Yes, that's legitimately all I do. I don't even know how to to react to this. Like,
stuff is coming, guys. We promise. Dude, all right, we're all working our asses off.
This probably won't mean anything, but like, not what's your opinion of it, but I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to ask this. But like, yo, what do I do? I don't like. You know what I mean? It's like if I ask you, you'd probably have not a better idea than most people. Yeah, you would. You'd have a much better idea than most people for sure. But it's like
a better idea, but like not a perfect idea.
Of course. But it's just like, yeah, no, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Even my role at work is I find it hard to explain it. But TSG asks me about stuff, confidential stuff all the time, just like helping him build these sorts of things. And he builds a lot more back-end systems and formal proposals for systems and things that you guys might actually not even notice go in at all. For example, with the affiliate marketing program, TSG did a lot of work behind the scenes on how to structure it, back-end dashboards, even some web interfaces and things like that. So when he tries to implement something into Illuvium that's going to benefit the marketing arm of Illuvium, he does every step. He doesn't just do I'm going to DM a bunch of people and ask them to join our merry bandwagon on Illuvium. He does every step that he needs to do, or at least as far as he can take it until like a back-end dev or someone needs to take care of parts of it. But it's how would I put it? Maybe like a product manager, cross-influencer manager, cross-socials,
relationship
marketing agent. I don't know.
That's the thing. If I actually needed to, I could explain it very, very well. But actually, I'm just being a dickhead. I'm just being an idiot saying, "Oh, I don't do anything." Like if I wanted to, I could. But look, if people don't think I do anything, cool. I get it. People that know and the people that I communicate with actually know. And yeah, I just want to like clarify something. My role is not to make content. That is not actually my role. I think some people might think that my role is to make content. That is definitely not part of my role. So, which is why, again, I try and come on your content. I mean, you've asked me to start doing these on my channel. I'm happy to let that go. Like, I'm trying to help you out and give you the content. Well, I don't need it. So, yeah, the content side of things is definitely not actually my role at all. So, yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. I don't know if people actually knew that, but it's not my role at all.
So, Illuvium Lizard had a really interesting question. And honestly, We haven't talked about it a whole lot internally on the marketing subcouncil. I know the IMC and the CSC has done a lot more discussion on it, and I can bring it up as well. But here's where I stand with this. Illuvium Lizard asked this. Has the marketing subcouncil had any thoughts around the motto, we're going to mass marketing with the time comes, fight for ETH? Is a great one, but not suited for mass marketing. It's a crypto thing. Okay. I have a few interesting points here, and I don't know how people are going to take this. Firstly, if the blockchain is a part of Illuvium and a part of why Illuvium is building Illuvium, and I don't think we should be shying away from that. That's not what I believe in personally. If it wasn't going to be made into a blockchain game, then it shouldn't have. It needs the blockchain to function. That's a part of its system. I don't think that's really important here. Fight for ETH supposedly is a part of the law and all that sort of stuff, but I don't really see it as Fight for ETH, the crypto token. I just see it as this is a part of the world in some way. For example, if you've got like Clash of Clans, it might be Fight for Gold, or if you've got like Pokemon, it might be like, that's a really bad example, like Fight for Pokemon. That's really stupid. If you've got like Zelda, it might be like Fight for the Master Sword. It's just one of the resources in this game that is a part of the overall lore and the overall ecosystem. And that's how I see it. And I know that the marketing might scare off some people because ETH is the second most recognizable crypto token that exists. And I definitely understand that. But I don't know. I like the motto. Capture your imagination. I love
that.
It.
That is not going to happen.
It's actually really fun. I like it.
No. I'll just say that. No. So yeah, look, I obviously can't say too much because I know more than Skyrox, but no. I'll just say this again. No. I can't say more than that. But
at a minimum, the team, especially Aaron, has said that he's sticking with it and it's an important part of the core game and the lore or whatever it might be. I don't really care. Until I see what its purpose is, then I will make a decision. Then I will decide. And we've been doing a lot of that in the governance in general lately, is we're trying to jump the gun a lot of stuff when the team has been building this thing for 2 years. Why should we start changing things before they actually get built? You know what I mean? It's a little bit backwards to me. And if it's the wrong decision, then that will be on the team and they made that decision and that's unfortunate. But I would rather see it get made and then be like, okay, this isn't working, than just try and cut it off early. I think everyone needs their chance to say what they want, and the game developers developing the game is kind of the same thing. They're saying what they want to say, and if the game doesn't work, then we'll have to go from there.
Like the biggest thing that I'll say is like, I wouldn't even say trust the team because that's asking too much. But I ask you guys to use. No, I mean, dude, I get it. Like, right? If I ask you to trust random people, would you do it? Definitely not. So the thing that I ask of is to use logic based on the stuff that you've heard. Doesn't have to be me. I don't care. The stuff that you've heard Aaron say, things like that. Does he seem like he has well thought out ideas and he uses intellect rather than emotion to make decisions? If the conclusion you come to is yes, and then the second question is, oh, fight the ETH. Oh, that's bad for marketing. Ask yourself again, if the first thesis played out and you agreed that he is well thought out, do you think that this isn't something that he hasn't thought about? Do you think this isn't something that, and I'm just speaking about Aaron specifically, but I'm talking about the team in general. Like, do you think that we are a team of people that don't think things through and just kind of go gung-ho on things? If that is the case, I get it. You might have concerns. If you think that at least the majority of the team is not like that and we think things through, there might be a reason for it that just hasn't been released to the public yet. And if that is the case, allow it. Like we'll say exactly, trust the process. I'm trying to avoid the word trust, but it's more at least allow the process to play out, like what Skyrox said, and see what happens. If we're wrong about it, cool. We can accept that we're wrong, but at least allow it to play out and make that adjustment after. That is what I ask. Not even to trust us, just use logic and reason. Do you think that the majority of the team is just acting irrationally and emotionally, or we are able to think somewhat clearly.
Sometimes I put myself in the shoes of the team, but more in particular the 3 co-founders. And like, imagine doing this thing where you all came together and you wrote something on a napkin and you were like, we're going to make this game. And then you go off and you start making it. And 2 years into the process, everyone's trying to change what your initial vision was. If I would be so mad if someone did that to something I created. Like, even if I'm set to fail, if that were the case, then I would rather, like, I had this beautiful vision and I want to do it. I want to see it through. I just feel bad. I just feel bad if someone feels that way.
Yeah,
About
and the
something
thing is, I get it.
It's rough.
Like, I get it as well, where people feel like they've invested, and like, I get it completely. You want to have your voice heard. I get it. The team, as well as the co-founders, have invested way more money and way more time. And if this all falls apart, what do we? If we try to find another job, what are we going to put? Like, what were we doing for the last couple of years? We just didn't like. You get like, it's going to be on the resume. Like, it's going to be there. So we're putting our reputation, our time, our families. Like, we don't spend time with our families, and money on. And this is not just like us, the team, but I mean the co-founders specifically. That they have way more capital than anyone else in the community. So again, allow it to play out and see what happens there.
Yeah, I think the DAO. I don't know how to describe the DAO. I don't know.
The DAO conversation, I get it. The DAO conversation, again, but it doesn't dictate the direction of it. Again, it's like, cool. If they really make it a mistake, then yeah, cool. Kick it in and steer the ship the right way. But we don't even know we're going in the wrong direction yet. We're preempting that we're going in the wrong direction. Or not we, but like some people in the community. And that's not, yeah.
How I view the DAO thing is quite interesting. I've always imagined as EA's failures and Blizzard's failures being I don't know if this is true or not, being very much a publisher problem where the game developers, I'm sure, are passionate about the games they're making. At least I hope they are. And when games come out too fast or they have gross monetization tactics and all that sort of stuff, 99% of the time, if you ask me, that's probably the publishers or the stakeholders and stuff that are pushing for things and ruining the games that these people are trying to make. And I would hate to see the DAO become that sort of organization where it's a little bit too much trying to push the, like, yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons we've had so many delays, right? It's because the team wants to get it right. They care about it. And I think, yeah, giving them that leeway, I think, is a good way to exchange that and make sure that we're getting the best thing they can give us.
Yeah. But again, let's see how it all plays out. We're very excited with the stuff that's coming out. Things are things are cooking. Like I keep going back to that phrase, but things are cooking right now. So let's see the next couple of this next quarter. Somewhat, yeah. Look, I'm not going to give a time frame. This next quarter is going to be a good one. This next quarter is going to be a good one.
And with that, I think it's time we sign off. I have a lot to do tonight.
Oh, by the way, if you guys want to get Illuvium, use ScarX's link down below. Go support all the stuff that he does. So, peace.
And don't use Brave Browser. Or do use Brave Browser.
No, don't. Just use Chrome.
Chrome for the win. Okay. Have a good one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll be back next week. I hope you guys learned something. There'll be even more PvP leaks and things next week, I'm hoping, and we can talk about that as well. Anything else you want to sign off with?
Yeah. Tell us if you want to guest next week. Tell us if you want us to bring Jimbo back or what's up. I'd
love to get Nick on.
Nick? Oh, bro, I can make that happen. I can see. But it's pretty late for Nick right now. We'll see. We might need to do it a bit earlier, but I'll see if I can get Nick on.
I thought Nick was in Sydney.
Yeah, he is, but bro sleeps like 6 p.m.
True. We can sort that. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys. Hope you enjoy the